mention?
Yes, his father, because I loved that graphic because Ayatollah, who looks like this demon.
On the British flag.
Yeah, on the British flag, because there is a reason for that, because his father was Haji Williamson. Haji Williamson was a British spy. He was as important as Lawrence of Arabia, and they were friends, as a matter of fact. I don't know if you know about it, but they were very good friends. For the first time, they come to Iran together. They invest on Darcy's petroleum well, which was later on known as BP, British Petroleum later on. And Iran had to fight for years to kick them out of Iran. It was almost impossible. And we were supposed to get rid of all these oil companies such as BP by 1979, and Shah's last speech was about that. Actually, he said that 1979 would be the last year that they have any kind of special privileges, or not privileges, rights.
So he supported the removal of BP's business
Yes.
from Iran.
Yes.
But his father was British.
Are you talking about?
There's a long convoluted history here, and you and
Yes.
I have discussed it on the
Yes.
9/11 Cincinnati 911 show. But I'm brain farting on the guy's name. The first dude that was democratically elected by
Mossadegh.
the yes,
Dr. Mossadegh.
Mossadegh,
Yes.
as we say it here. Is that
Yes.
a false pronunciation?
No, that
Mossadegh is
should be
close
all right.
enough?
You know,
Okay.
Mossadegh
Yes.
or Mossadegh.
Yes,
You know, as long as
Mossadegh, as he was
Yes.
pronounced over and over
Yes.
again on the media here, so that's what I know. But he was democratically elected by the
Yes.
Iranian people, and he was a really good guy. He was a doctor. I kind
Yes.
of look at him as a Ron Paul.
Yes, he was.
You know, if Ron Paul was made president in the United States, this is what happened with Mossadegh in
Yes.
Iran.
And what year was this roughly?
It was 60, 50?
Yes, 19. I want to say 1950.
I think it was late 50s, wasn't it? 57?
1956.
Okay, so
56.
he was in power for...
He was in
Short
power,
time.
and the interesting thing, he was a very good friend of Shah's father, who was Reza Shah,
Okay.
and both of these guys kicked British out of Iran.
Right, they both wanted him out.
Yes,
But then our CIA
yes,
was not happy with this Mossadegh character because he was wanting to nationalize
Yes.
the oil.
Yes.
The oil in Iran should belong to the
Yes.
Iranian people, and they should benefit from it, and that was anathema to, you know, they should belong to the corporations, right?
Yes.
So they got him out of power. How did
Yes.
they do that?
Well, what happened actually, it was a coup against him.
It was a total coup.
But on the top of that, have you seen the Economy Hitman?
Yeah, yeah.
The guy, economy,
Confessions of
the
an economic
Confession of
hitman.
Economy
yeah.
Hitman.
Yeah, yeah.
He really mentioned that the CIA jackals, you know, kill these people.
Jackals is
yes,
a good name.
Yes, and they wanted to kill this guy. They wanted to assassinate this guy, but again, Shah had to play the poker. Shah of Iran. He had to play the poker and say, "Hey, I'm on your side," so he could protect this guy. You know,
Shah was playing on your side, or the Shah said, "I'm on your side" to whom?
to CIA and Americans.
Okay.
But in reality, he was
He
never
was not.
never on
He
side
was
of
not,
Americans.
he wasn't on anybody's side but his own.
exactly.
You should make
Thank
that
you.
very clear.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, he kind of played both sides
Yes.
against the middle.
Yes.
And when Mossadegh was out and the Shah came in,
Yes.
everybody hated him. America hated him. The
Yes.
Iranian people
Yes.
hated him. He was a monster.
Yes.
Yeah, he was totally horrible.
But
So
on
did
the
he get-
top of what you said that that Khomeini's father, yes, was Haji Williamson. He was as important as the Lawrence of Arabia.
Lawrence of Arabia.
Have you seen that movie, The Lawrence of Arabia? Yeah.
No.
It had a lot of
Is-
effect in Western culture.
Yes, he actually was like him, and we'll talk about it more. But I have more things to cover. It's not. This show is not about Iran. It's just in the news they talk about.
But let's
you
talk
know.
for just a minute briefly
Yes.
about the right now. We were talking historical record and
Yes.
a lot of ancient history. Well, right now, if Iran is attacked,
Yes.
what are we looking at? I mean, it's pretty clear that they can shut down the strait and choke the
Who
oil. Iran.
I have, okay, there
The
are
Strait of Hormuz, is that correct?
yes, there are two outcomes. The first outcomes, I think, and I think it is more possible that Islamic regime is falling apart from within. There is nothing that the special interested groups can do about it in Europe and also in the United States.
The Islamic Republic of Iran is suffering its own internal problems, regardless of what happens
Regardless.
outside.
And
I agree with you.
No matter
Yeah,
what they do, no matter
yeah.
how much money they're spending, it is basically falling.
Yeah.
And there is nothing that anyone else can do
everything
about it.
changes. I mean, that's
Yes.
one of the things that conservatives especially have a hard time getting a hold of.
Yeah.
I mean, progressives are like into change, and conservatives want to hold things
Yes.
back, and everything continually
Yes.
changes. And Iran is a really interesting country. I remember a number of years ago when the attack drums were really sounding then, people published videos of Iran today. And it's really great. I mean, you can, Google that or look for it. Maybe we should post some on our site. But it's a really incredible nation.
Yes.
They have this great mingling of the modern technology and the old world ways. A lot of very interesting stuff there.
Thank you. But seriously, I think one of the reasons they want to attack Iran, at least on the paper, is creating an artificial
Boogeyman?
no artificial patriotic sensation. Why? Because the same thing happened in 1980, and there was a fear that Islamic Republic would collapse within a few months.
Oh, so you're saying from the Iranian side.
perspective, yeah.
Yeah.
From the Iranian I thought you were
From-
saying from the U.S. perspective.
Right.
Well-
we got to be clear about these things. The
Well,
people in
no.
power, the people in power in Iran would like to remain in power, and there is change
The
happening culturally.
I know. Well, when you say America, like I said, people like Brzezinski and his company, they want to see Ayatollahs on the top.
right.
They created these people.
Right.
They created Mujahideen. They convinced Russia to invade Afghanistan, and
The Shah was so horrible that when the Ayatollah came in, he was a welcome relief.
the Shah. Let me
Even as oppressive as he was.
the Shah, just like Saddam Hussein, because lots of people say, oh, Saddam Hussein was a horrible person. Oh, really? Let me take it. I mean, I hated that guy because I was in the war when there was a war between Iraq and Iran. I was in it. But let me ask you this. If Saddam Hussein was that horrible, and he said, like, he hated Israel, okay, but every Jews could go and worship at synagogue every Saturday
In Iraq.
in Iraq when he was on power. Same with Christians. Christians could go, and he actually made sure there is no problem. They can go
He
and
did not
worship.
repress people's
Yeah.
religious rights.
So,
And-
but business-wise, he wasn't liked.
Well, remember this. When we compare those countries, we need to remember, okay, what's the meaning of democracy? Democracy over here has a different meaning.
It
Okay.
does?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I don't understand this. Please explain.
For instance, we say democracy is based on majority, the belief of majority.
The
okay?
literal translation from the Greek is people rule.
People rule, okay? Over there is way too different because people pick someone as let's say, a king
representative, right.
or a father, okay? They pick this person, they approve him, and they kind of like worship him after that. That's the difference between
There's a
Western,
religious blend.
yeah, Western civilization and Eastern civilization.
Which we tried to keep out with the separation of church and state.
Yeah,
And I'm still
yeah.
a very, very good big fan of.
you know, what